Hey, what's going on? It's Jesse. I'm here with Mary Jane. We're in Portland, Maine to discuss question 1, which is on the ballot to legalize marijuana and tax it and treat it like alcohol. We're going to link up with Rick Steves, longtime travel host on PBS and longtime marijuana activist, to talk about question 1 and his experience in legalization in Washington and the general Northwest, and why he's bringing that cause to the Northeast. You're originally from Washington State, and you were in Massachusetts last week. You're in Maine this week. What brings you up here?
I've been speaking out on the importance of legalizing, taxing, and regulating marijuana in the United States to end the prohibition on marijuana, and we did that 4 years ago in Washington State. And it's really important for the people here in Maine to learn when they're considering should they vote for or against question 1. They should learn what's their track record in Washington State. So primarily I'm here to share what I've learned in Europe about drug policy and how a pragmatic harm reduction approach to marijuana rather than a legislate morality approach has worked in Washington State.
And how do you see that being implemented here in Maine?
There are points, to no surprise, that are being made by the opposition that I think we need to deal with. People wonder who's funding these initiatives, and the implication is it's big marijuana, so we're going to have like the marijuana equivalent of Joe Camel. And I'll tell you, big marijuana business interests are not funding these. It is being funded by Marijuana Policy Project, MPP, by NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, which I've been a board member of for 10 years now, and people like me. And we're in it for civil liberties. We're in it for to tackle this prohibition of our age. I think when people are concerned about what big business is behind this, you got to remember the big business in the game right now is organized crime. And this is a black market, and it's a very, very profitable black market. And now it is crime and gangs that are making the money and being empowered by this. Another issue is safety for kids. In my state, 4 years ago, we were endorsed by the Children's Alliance. Now, this is not grannies for ganja. These are church groups and community groups whose mission is to look out for the well-being of children and families. And they debated this and they endorsed us 100% because they know that if you're a parent worrying about your teenager, the biggest danger is that your kid, well, not that your kid would smoke marijuana, but your kid would be arrested for having marijuana. And that puts a mark on that kid, and it makes it really tough for him to get a job or get into college or get a loan. There are very, very pragmatic reasons to understand that the best thing for kids and the best thing for safety is to take this black market and legalize it and regulate the heck out of it and tax the heck out of it, and then get credibility for teachers and parents and cops when it comes to teaching kids about the dangers, the real dangers of hard drugs. And that's what we're doing with this campaign here in Maine. You know, I'm sort of an internationalist, and I look at it also from an international point of view. In our country, the United States has made a treaty in the United Nations and basically extorted all the other nations to sign it. And this treaty requires all the signatories to wage trade sanctions against any particular country that decides to legalize marijuana. When you hear the word decriminalization in the Netherlands or something, they didn't legalize because they don't want to get in a trade war with the United States. It's just too expensive. So our country is requiring other countries to have this status quo of criminalizing marijuana. I don't know why our country is so hell-bent on keeping marijuana illegal, but now that a good part of our country has broken away from this prohibition, other countries are realizing, okay, they can deal with this in a more pragmatic and honest way. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's just one more reason to recognize the prohibition here in America against marijuana is a wrong-minded and a failed policy.
Rick, thanks so much for joining us.
You are welcome, and thanks for your interest in this.